Hi, welcome to 9 Months Season 3. After the success of the first 2 seasons, we are back by popular demand with Season 3. Hi, I'm TJ Sidhu, your host for this season. Parents and other caregivers are responsible for providing an environment that helps children maintain a lifestyle that is healthy. Not all slim kids have healthy eating habits or active lifestyles, and not all overweight children develop diseases. A healthy weight for kids is much more than numbers. It's about healthy behavior, such as enjoying a variety of foods and maintaining an optimum activity level, which goes on to build immunity lifelong. While most of the time I trust my way and ensure to strike that balance with my daughters, to shed some light on how to maintain your toddler's lifestyle and health. We have with us today is renowned pediatrician Dr. Nitin Shah from PD Hinduja and Wadia Hospital. Doctor, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
You know, as a mother of 2, I'm always looking for more and more information. However much we know, it's never enough. So I'm really looking forward to all your advice today. Now, my day with children starts very early, and of course, first thing you do, get up, give them a bath. What bath regime and what kind of skincare products do you recommend for babies growing skin?
So when a baby is born and is brought home, you need to take care of the hygiene of the baby.
From first day?
It would mean care of the eyes. So just take a swipe, warm water, and just clean it.
Like just with a washcloth maybe?
Yes. If there is some discharge from the eyes, then you can put some drops as per your doctor's advice. But generally, warm water is enough to take care of the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the ears, one important thing is don't use buds to clean their ears.
Oh, not to?
Yeah, because if the buds are deep inside and the membrane which is inside the ear drum is very superficial, you may actually damage it.
Oh, okay.
So you should also use always a piece of cloth, roll it up and just clean it with that. There's really no need to put any drops in the ears where they are usually all clean.
Okay.
Now it comes to the nose. You just clean again with a piece of cloth, and if at all you have to use, again you don't use buds, but you use a piece of cloth which is rolled up. Right, now comes to the bathing. So use warm water. You can use any soap which is suitable to the baby, to which the baby is not allergic to. Then dry him with the towel and then wear very simple clothes which are made of cotton, and you don't forget to change them as often as required. Coming to the perineal area, hygiene is important because the baby passes urine and stool very frequently. So if you don't keep it dry, then it can lead to a lot of dermatitis or irritation in the what you call the diaper area. So you could use the ready-made diapers if you can afford. If not, then you can make your own diapers of the clothes and just see that you clean them and change them every now and then. If the baby is getting some redness there, then of course you can use a baby cream in the diaper area, a diaper cream. There are several of them available, and then wrap the baby in the diaper so that there's no direct contact between the skin and the diaper, so it becomes very easy for the baby.
Doctor, when babies have dry skin, eczema, how do we fix that?
So you will see the child is crying a lot at night and is wanting to probably rub the skin in the area where there's redness. Typically this will happen in the areas which are in contact with one another. So typically behind the ears, in the elbow region, and in the perineal region. So when you see redness there, then you know there is something wrong with the baby. So you would use a soft moisturizer, and again there are several moisturizer cream which are available.
Do you need a medicine or just a moisturizer?
To start with, you can use a moisturizer cream of say 5 days to 1 week's time. If the baby is improving, that's the end of it. Continue to use the same moisturizer.
Okay.
But in spite of moisturizer being used for 4-5 days, the baby is not well, the redness is not gone, consult a doctor. He may actually give a medicinal cream and or a oral medication, which may be required in some patients. Sometimes it may be required even for say 2 to 3 weeks if there's a true eczema. Most of the time it is irritation to something they are using like oil which you have not rubbed well during bathing, and in the diaper area because you are using too much of diaper and not changing them, especially at night. So it leads to a lot of irritation. In such cases, just using a moisturizer 2-3 times in a day should be sufficient, and there's no need to give any medicine thereafter.
Right, there are so many brands to use, but one that a lot of mothers have told me about is the Baby Dove range of products because they are gentle, they're safe, no dyes, no parabens, no phthalates. So if there's something you want to try out, that's one to check out. We've been told a lot by our ancestors about the importance of massaging. How important is it for toddlers?
Yeah, so there are 2 aspects of massaging. One is the touch. And I think we forget that this touch is more important than the oil. You can even massage with water. You can even massage just with your bare hands. So what's important is not rubbing and making the child very uncomfortable, make him cry. That is not a massage.
You know,
that's torture.
Well, what is torture? Oh,
Yes.
no.
So what you should use is actually gentle touch. Touch is important for the development of the baby's sensations, and he responds by laughing or by cooing. So you know he's actually enjoying the massage. Massage also helps to relieve the tension in the muscles, which is probably moving his limbs all throughout the day. So it helps for get a better sleep. Now coming to the what you use for massage. So traditionally we use massage oils. Now most of the time you should use a vegetable oil source rather than a mineral oil source. In a very small baby, you know what you call preterm babies, the babies who are born below 2 kilos.
Oh.
Typically they are in the incubators, so-called, or the warmers. These babies, when you apply oil on the skin, this oil gets absorbed from the skin, and it helps as a nutrition also to the baby.
Oh, really?
So we don't understand this aspect.
So not just from babies, even as toddlers we should use.
As a toddler, you can continue to use massage oil for 1 or 2 years of life. There's no problem.
So massaging a baby actually has a lot to do with moisturizing baby's skin, because children's skin does lose moisture much faster than adult skin, and the Baby Dove range of products provides complete moisturization as well as a nice little massage for the baby. Doctor, when we talk about children's health, a big part of it is vaccination. Can you tell us why vaccines are so important for children?
So all of us know that we develop resistance power against a disease which is caused by bugs or the germs. These are what we call infections. Now you have 2 ways of developing your body resistance to the future infection. One is to get the disease, suffer, and then you develop resistance so that you don't suffer again.
Okay.
Vaccine does all this development of resistance without the child suffering. How does that happen? What are vaccines? Vaccines are the same germs that cause disease, but either these germs are killed in the form of a vaccine, or there are some live vaccines where these germs are changed such a way that they have lost their ability to develop disease, but yet they develop what are called as antibodies or the resistance power. So vaccination does what the natural disease does, development of good resistance, but without suffering like how you suffer when you develop a natural disease. So obviously who wants to get disease and then to develop resistance? Everyone will want to have resistance without suffering. That's how lot of these infectious diseases are targeted, where vaccination has a role to play, and good vaccines are in use since last several decades. And I think it's the parents' prime responsibility to see that they take to the doctor, discuss about the immunization, follow the immunization card, and from time to time check it so that the baby is immunized and kept up to date.
How do we as parents take preventative measures?
First and the foremost is a good nutrition. So breastfeeding till 1 year of age, till 18 months of age, good nutritive food thereafter from 6 months of age will itself build a good immunity. Number 2, to keep the environment clean. So outdoor pollution and indoor pollution, both are equally important. Third thing is to give vaccines against these diseases which are preventable, especially cough, cold, fever, flu, etc. is so common during the season, like during monsoon, and you can prevent many of these diseases by this simple measure. Last but not the least is the personal hygiene. So hand sanitization, using soap and water before eating your food, after coming back from play, etc. are good habits that were inculcated by our parents, and we must see that we do the same for our children.
Another illness we hear so much about, doctor, is swine flu and influenza. Now, are they the same thing?
People mistake between influenza and common cold and cough. They are not the same. Swine flu is a name given to influenza which came in 2009 as a next pandemic. But more important is to differentiate between common cough and cold and influenza. Influenza also comes with cough and cold, but is severe, has very high fever, very bad throat, and if you don't take treatment in time, it can lead to complications like severe diarrhea in small children and can lead to pneumonia, and you hear the stories about deaths that are happening because of flu here and there. So we have to differentiate between common cough and cold and influenza, and when you suspect influenza, follow your doctor's advice and take the proper treatment.
What is the proper treatment? How do you prevent it?
There are excellent vaccines available against influenza. Now influenza term is caused by a virus, but it's not one virus. There are 3 or 4 different viruses which can lead to influenza.
Wow.
So we have vaccine which covers all these 4 strains of influenza, what we call a quadrivalent vaccine, and you can take this vaccine. You need to take this vaccine once a year and year after year, so that you are prevented from getting influenza for the time, till the time that you take your vaccines.
So it's pretty much lifelong. You have to keep taking it?
It's sort of lifelong, and more you take, better it is. It can be started right from 6 months of age onwards, and then, as I said, you take yearly thereafter. And more important, every pregnant lady must take influenza vaccine in the 2nd or 3rd trimester.
Oh, okay.
Influenza leads to very severe disease during pregnancy, as in higher chances of mortality or death during pregnancy than in a non-pregnant lady.
Oh.
And more important is also when she takes it during pregnancy, the baby who is born is protected for the first 6 months to 1 year, because she gives the antibody which she has produced also to the baby. So it is a dual advantage.
So it's protection for the baby also.
In fact, for the same reason, influenza during pregnancy is almost also indicated as far as the government is concerned, and in several states is a part of the public health program. So the swine flu was caused by what we call the new virus, or the pandemic virus, which came in 2009. And fortunately, the current vaccine, which is a quadrivalent vaccine, covers that strain of swine flu. So if you take the influenza vaccine, it automatically covers also the swine flu.
Okay, so you're saying if we take our vaccines in time, we have a higher chance of not developing these flus in the first place?
Absolutely. So you will not develop the flu, and if you develop flu, it will not be very severe, so you will not get hospitalized, you will not get pneumonia, you will not get complication, and probably you will not die of it.
So doctor, do you have any other final words of wisdom for parents regarding their children's health?
I think children are the future of nation, right? They are the future of the country.
Right.
And I think the least we can do is to keep them healthy, both physically and mentally.
Right.
So it's our prime earnest duty as the parents to look after the needs of the children. And mind you, you don't have to really need sophisticated measures to look after your child. You can look after the child at your home within the possible constraints that you have, whether economical, physical, or whatever. But tender love care, touching the child from time to time, talking to the child, preventing him from the disease and other abuses in the surrounding, breastfeeding the baby, giving the correct nutrition, putting to the right school, and the first 3 or 5 years when the brain is growing, keep the child happy and interact him daily. That makes the child very strong. And a strong child will become a strong adult.
Become a happy child and a happy adult.
Yes, and a strong adult will become a strong nation.
A parent's instinct is usually right, so trust that your way is the best way. You know what's best for your child, and if there's something you don't know, you can always ask the doctor. Thank you, doctor, so much for being here. I love talking to you.
My pleasure.